Hey all, it's Denise and it's Friday. I'm in my studio, my very messy studio, and I just wanted to pop in and let you know that I have another video this week that was part of an ongoing class I had online, and I've taken bits and pieces out of those classes and add them into my YouTube because I thought they were pretty fun and valuable in how I look at choosing pieces and how my brain works and how I'm going about putting pieces together. And we all do it different, but it's fun to watch how other people do it. So I'm going to share that with you. And I think this might be the last one of these that I'm going to show. I'm pretty sure. I've been cleaning up my video library and I have a ton of stuff that I've saved to do add on my YouTube channel, and I've just never really gotten around to it. And now I want them cleared off of my new computer, so I'm not taking up a lot of space with that. So I have another one to show you today that goes along with the video I did last week of the blue jean babies with the blue jean jackets. And then I'm going to play around, not this week, but in next week's video. I found this new Venetian plaster. It's by Up, and that means used paint. And it's kind of cool, this company that I came across, and believe it or not, I got this at Michael's, and it says, our story is, with 85 million gallons of paint ending up in landfills every year, we felt we could do something about it. So in 2020, we created upcycled paint, and reimagined the entire paint ecosystem, creating beautiful paint that is also earth kind. We're taking all of the paint we can get our hands on, used, unopened, and just plain abandoned, and making things a little brighter. So it isn't used paint. It is, what'd I say? Upcycled? Oh yeah, upcycled paint. So I'm kind of excited about using this. It's a new Venetian plaster. I've never tried it before, so I'm gonna play around with that this coming week, and I'll add a video in next Saturday about this. So make sure you tune in for that, and hit the subscribe button. You know, I always say it. Oh, sometimes I don't, but please hit the subscribe button, a thumbs up, and if that little bell shows up, hit that so that you're alerted every time I do a new video. It really helps me. It helps me in my YouTube, and it keeps me showing up and sharing what I got with you guys. So with that being said, enjoy the week, enjoy the video, and I will see you next Saturday. Your way in. So this week we're talking about finishing touches, adding dimensional, any finishing marks, your signature, and how you're going to finish off your paintings. So as you know, I've been sticking pretty close to my color chart, and now I'm ready to do some finishing touches. Now, I don't know if you remember her last week. She was just a skin transfer. And because I was doing I got the idea to do a little series of denim jackets. And she had on a slinky dress, not a denim jacket. So I found a photo of a denim jacket I liked. I printed it out, I cut it up, and I just draped it on her, and it worked pretty good. I fooled around with it a little bit, and I was getting fussy, and I ripped part of it, and I was very frustrated, and then I went, wait a minute, it looks fine, leave it alone. I had painted her face in, and the more I painted her, the more she looked like Elvira, if anybody ever remembers the late night horror movie queen, Elvira. So I just brushed it all off, and I'm just leaving her like she is. This morning when I looked at it, this whole area here and a little bit up here was all in a very neutral shade, just like her dress. So she didn't stand out at all. So these are the kind of decisions you make when you start getting close to the end. I wanted to lighten this up so she would come forward. Now, this is still maybe a little too light for me. So I just covered this, and there was some cool stuff under here. There were some patterns And there was really some fun things. So that's when you get to a point where you have to make decisions to let things go. It was cool, but it was also making this all look really mushy. So I painted over it in white, and I can now just go over with some sandpaper. Whoops. It's still white. She still stands out, but it's just not painted solid. So I kind of like that. I actually like that a lot. I'm going to do it up here on this top corner. I added some white up on the top corner so that this wasn't the brightest spot on the canvas. And if you remember, this is one of the canvases that before we started, we wrote on them. This is the only little bit of that writing that shows up, but I love that it showed up. And I also, when I was painting this white, I hit a couple of these little diamonds really lightly. And sanding it up is just helping the paint integrate into the painting, so it all kind of melds together. I could, you can see, I hope, where there's some really cool print under there. So I'm just gonna let that come, show through a little bit. Now, what I'm gonna do with this, I don't really need to add a lot more because there's a lot going on here, but my focal is right here. Everything else is kind of in the quiet conversation. Do you see that? Does that make sense? But it needs a little pop. And with my color, I could add something completely off the chart. Like I could add purple, but no, I don't want that. I can't find anything close by because what I've decided to do is go with a bright green. And I kind of played with this yesterday. And these are just ripped up paint samples out of a a palette book. And I think I'm just gonna add these ripped up pieces because I wanna kind of, maybe this one is what I want. I want this to come down off the canvas. So to kind of bring your eye down, and I like to open things up this way and this way, which these lines help me do. Now I don't want to just leave that there, so I cut a couple of these out and I might put these inside my flowers because that kind of gives me something to bounce your eye around on. And I love this. I just don't know where to put it. I feel like I need it somewhere. What do you guys think?
I like it.
Do we like it or do I need it? Because I really like it too. And it kind of plays with this and it adds to the story. And she's kind of dark. What is this called? This is a frigate. So it's not really a scary bird. Although it says right in here, sudden terror. Also something that frightens. Okay, it's going, it's in. I'm gonna put that in there. Let me get I'm down to the dregs of my polyacrylic. And just so you know, you never shake this stuff up. You always stir it. If you shake it up to mix everything in, you get air bubbles. Okay, so I'm gonna have to blend this in a little bit because I don't really want all that to show up. So let me grab one of my house paint colors. Okay, so that was one thing I was going to do. This little line here ended up being one of the strings from this sewn piece of fabric. It was just dangling. I didn't know what to do with it, so I just went, I'll just pull that over and make another line with it. The only thing I think I have left to do with this one, I know what I was going to do. I was going to take some white paint. And now I've got these flowers on here, and I kind of want to pump them up a little bit. So, and when you do this, it's so easy because all the information's already there. I just want it to be a little bit more painterly and a little less looking like I just glued it right on there, which I'm okay with. But I also want it to look like it has my hand on it. And it doesn't take much to do that.
So what are you using?
I'm using white house paint.
Okay.
And you guys, here's why I love it. It just goes on so smoothly. Full body paints don't go on this smoothly. And the fluids, let me go right over that. The fluids are way too transparent to do this because I don't want to mess around with it too much.
Oh, that looks great.
See that? It was just a little bit that pops it out.
Yeah.
Wow. Makes such a big difference.
Such a big
Yeah.
difference. Wow.
There. So, I better add just a little bit down here.
Are those the wallpaper flowers?
Those are the wallpaper flowers. And remember, I was saying I was so bummed out because I used them and I didn't have them anymore. But I did take bits of them and make copies on my copy machine and my printer. And they came out I mean, they look exactly like the wallpaper. So I was really happy I decided to do that. Because I love this wallpaper. I want to use it again. I actually bought these two, were vintage, from a gal on Etsy.
Oh, okay.
But yes, you can buy wallpaper samples that are pretty inexpensive. But do you remember when like stores like Frazee used to have wallpaper departments? They would give you the books. But I don't know if anybody does wallpaper anymore. Although I got to say, wallpaper is totally coming back into. Yeah. So. So that might be a little easier. Now, I have this sitting up on this drawer, and I keep all my papers are all filed away in separate drawers. This is just my text drawer, and the reason I'm going to use that is because I need to, and I'll get back to the key in a minute, I need to finish off my edges. So what I thought I might do this time around is I'm going to finish off my edges on this piece with just papers with text. Because I really like the way that looks. So I've got old dictionary pages. And oh, look how cool this is, you guys. Can you see this? Probably not. Look at that. Oh my God. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. This is a happy accident for sure. Look at this.
Yeah, that's great.
Oh man. Okay. Oh, who knew?
That's neat.
Let's try that again.
Be careful.
If it smears, that's okay. But I will be careful, just like it's wet paint. Just let it, it's like a transfer, you guys. Total transfer. So with this one, if you remember, and I think that's just enough color on there. I wanted to put a key. I was going to do that one, but I think, Veronica, you pointed out that was a little too artsy-craftsy. So I think I'm going with the real key that kind of blends right in.
Yeah, better too.
Now, the tricky thing is, has anybody used E6000?
Yeah, I use it all the time.
Okay, I love this stuff. I hate that I never get a full tube before it clogs up.
Asking, I don't know what that is.
Okay, it's called E6000. It's a clear, transparent, smelly glue, and it's paintable, and it dries clear. So my solution is shish kebab skewers. I just jam that in there, and then it will hold my key down. What I'll do is, you know, when I get to this point, I may have to do something with that or not. I'm not sure. I have to let it dry. Is I'll come back in a couple of days and take a look. And then see if there's anything I want to change with it. But I'm kind of liking the way it's at, where it's at right now.